it here. I'm going to bring in our co-host who's going to be interviewing a top individual with the company here. None other than Mr. Jeffrey Lewis. He's one of our top leaders here in Florida, folks. He's running the East Coast as a regional director and done some amazing things since he's taken the helm there. You know, his region is, it's just exploding and on fire. Super excited about everything that he's done as a leader and a professional pouring into his marketplace. So I'm just going to go ahead and mute myself out, let him step in and take the floor so he could introduce our guest today. So Mr. Lewis, the call is yours, sir.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Gonzalez. And I cherish the opportunity to go and interview some of the greatest candidates that we have, or associates rather, that we have in the business. Man, this is a personal learning opportunity for myself. I mean, man, I get to pick out the questions that I want, ask exactly what I want, so that way I could strategically build my business in the direction that I choose. And today we have the privilege of interviewing an individual that is literally being on fire. I mean, he is the network vice president of Alabama, one of the fastest growing organizations in the company. And I don't say that loosely. Literally, he is a brand new silver executive director with the company, and he just hit the $100,000 income mark. And look, without further ado, I'd like to present to you Mr. Alex Shahid. How you doing, Mr. Shahid?
Man, I am blessed and well, just enjoying my environment. Actually, at one of my executive director's house here in his backyard, got a nice pool back there, and sitting in what he calls the shed with one of our top future executive directors. So just doing some team building, doing a little call party over here, and promoting hard for some webinars tonight.
Man, listen, I know you're super busy, so I definitely thank you for taking some time out with us. I'll be brief, but I'll get to some of the meat and potatoes like right now, right?
Sure.
And so I know you, I mean, first of all, let's get this out of the way. Do you consider yourself a young pro, or between the young pros, or like what category do you fall in? Because that's always been a thing for me. Like, where do you fall in at right now?
Well, I certainly started when I was 22 years old in college. And so that was 9 years ago when I was a college kid. So, I mean, I was a young pro before millennial or young pro was a thing. And so I'm still a young pro today. I'm, 32 years old, right smack dab in the middle of the millennials, and really started building my business with Legal Shield back when there were DVDs and we were filling out paper applications and mailing it in. So I feel older than I am because I saw the way that prepaid legal and Legal Shield did things. And now I understand the way that it works. And I can relate to people that are older because I experience an older way of building, but certainly utilizing Zooms and technology and those platforms have tripled my business in 2020. And I'd have to say that, I know the coronavirus has been devastational for some, and I certainly do feel for them on that. I can only relate to how it's affected me, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to my business. And we took our production numbers and quadrupled them. We took our income and tripled it. I mean, what we make every 90 days is what we were making a year before this. So our annual income became our quarterly income. And this month I got a really good shot at making it my monthly income. So, I feel super blessed to have this technology to allow me to build the way that I do. But for those of you that are listening in again, you can become an overnight success in Legal Shield after an undetermined amount of time. I've been around for 9 years. 2010 is when I got started. So September is my 10-year anniversary. And I just have to say that at any point in time, when you make the decision to turn it up, it has to be followed by the correct activity. And when you do that, no doubt you'll break through whatever plateau that you were at. And I was at the, $50,000 a year plateau. And for some people, you're like, let me get there, so I get it. Everybody's like, I'll take 50, give me 50, so it just depends on mentally where you're at, because some people will decide, hitting manager is their ceiling. Some people will decide hitting executive director is their ceiling. Some people will decide the $50,000 ring is their ceiling. And throughout my tenure in Legal Shield, I continue to raise my personal belief and ceiling of what I expected of myself. Getting the $50,000 ring was good for me in the beginning. You know, hitting executive director was good for me in the beginning. And then I started to not be satisfied with $5,000 and $6,000 a month. So I was like, $5 or $6 grand, what is that? I need to be at like 15 or 20 grand a month.
So
And
I want to ask a question right there, Alex. So because you answered like 3 of the questions I had for you right there, so I appreciate you. The 50 to 100,000, you said basically you had people get a mental ceiling and they raise their personal belief. How did you raise your personal belief? I mean, is it just going to events, or I mean, is it just being like, well, I'm tired of making 1,000? Is it just that easy, or what did you do to kind of make that switch? And there's another question coming after that, so I'll let you answer that one first.
yeah, I do think that you have to get to a certain point where you say, you know, it's not necessarily the personal development, because let's be real. There's a lot of people with, you know, from GEDs to PhDs that are successful. There's people that have read a lot of personal development and that haven't read a lot of personal development that are successful. You see people come in and burn to ED. Like, what book are you reading? And they're like, read books. I don't have time for that. I'm working.
Right,
You know?
right.
So it's definitely not the personal development. Now, is it a good idea if you're not having the results that you want to develop yourself? Sure. You know, but at some point, there's just only so much that you can learn, and then you have to just get to doing.
Okay.
And so it was a personal experience for me. You know, I know Darnell Self talks about Bernadette, you know, when he was in debt and he was at a place where the debt collection agency was calling and he said, I'm trying to build my dreams. And she said, well, you should probably quit building your dreams and get a job. You know,
Right.
so he catalyst for him. For me, you know, I saw people like Aaron Browning and Marty Israel that were absolutely killing it, but they were coming in their first year making 6 figures, bumping up 50, 200. So I was like, yeah, of course they're in momentum. But I remember it very vividly. I mean, I don't remember who this lady is. She's going to be famous one day because she's going to be like, I was that lady. It was me. She was on a call with me, and we were talking about our builder bonuses. And it was for a next level leadership group with Legal Shield. And she was this sweet 67-year-old lady who was a grandmother.
Mhm.
And I'd gotten a $2,000 builder bonus for Q4 of last year. And Aaron Browning got 26,000, blah, 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 whatever. Hardy and Israel got $100,000 builder bonus or whatever. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. But then this lady, sweet old lady, was like, yeah, we got a $12,000 builder bonus, and we barely hit double digits in October. It was the last day when I put in my 10th recruit, and then we did 24 recruits in November and 44 recruits in December.
What?
Double bonus. And I'm like, oh, heck no. Paul can't beat me. Marty win? Okay. Aaron Browning? I mean, I'm all right with that. You know, and I was letting myself off the hook because of their skill and talent and how quick they were moving. But when grandma beat me, it was a come to Jesus moment. And
Wow. Okay. I was trying to catch that note. I think you're still there. I was trying to catch that note. So, okay. So I understand what drove you to light your fire, right? So basically you get this moment where it's like, I can no longer justify being where I'm at, right? I can say, oh, well, he's an elite horse. This guy right here is like, okay, if she could do it, I can. So that's beautiful. Because I didn't think that. I appreciate you for crystallizing that. My second question then is, well, what does it look like to now, what's this activity? Is it just massive exposures? Is it massive, like, you know, that's what everybody says. I mean, you know, I'm going hard for 90 days and they're calling the same people over again. You know, what does it look like?
Yeah, no, totally different aspect. It's not just about, you can go hard for 90 days and not hit your goals and just be frustrated as hell.
Right.
It's about finding leaders. You know, the whole point of a 90-day run is not to get to the next rank yourself, but to find other people that want to get to the rank. And, you know, one of my senior directors on my team made a comment to me a couple weeks back, and he goes, man, if I had a leg doing 700 in premium, basically like what he was doing, you know, he does a little over 700 in premium, 800 in premium every month to hit senior director. And he made kind of a sly comment like, yeah, if I had a leg that was doing 700 or 800 a month, I'd be ED too. And I'm like, you're exactly right. You would. So how much longer are you going to use some explicatives, you know, blank and complain about not having a leg doing 700 or 800 a month? And when are you going to go get it and get off your butt and stop talking about it and do it?
Dang, Alex.
And like, I mean, because the reality of it is that month we hit a little over 5,000 in volume.
Wow.
So I needed 700 to hit ED, but in
Right.
his mind, if I had a leg doing 700 or 800, I'd be ED too. And he's 100% right. You would.
Right.
If you had a leg right now doing 700 or 800 a month, hitting senior director, you'd probably be able to find the 650, 750 outside of that leg to hit it if you're a leader. And so my thing on a 90-day run to break out of your rhythm and break out of your rank is you have to find somebody that wants to be a senior director, that wants to put up 600, 700, 800 in volume, that wants to smash through manager and hit senior manager and cash in on these bonuses. If you don't have those people on your team, then I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to get to executive director. You're not going to get to the ring. You're not going to get to six figures, period. You're just not. So if you recruit 20 people this month, but you don't find any one of them wants to run for manager, senior manager, director, run for the top ranks because they don't carry your vision, then you're going to bust your ass and repeat it the very next month with very little results and long-term traction. So the only reason to recruit lots of people is to be able to bring on a freshman class and then lock arms and find out who's going to run. Like Will, who's sitting right here with me, Will hit manager in 14 days. He's about to like $50 away from senior manager right now. He'll get a $750 bonus. So now Will's at the point where he's like, okay, I'm plateauing. I'm like, because you don't have anybody on your team that wants it like you do. Now you got to find that leg that wants to hit manager in 14 days, senior manager in a month. You know, so you're plateaued because it's only you now. You can go out and recruit 4, 5, 6 people this month, but it's not going to make a darn bit of difference unless you find that one that wants to run. Otherwise, you're going to be repeating and duplicating and not growing.
Okay. And I know I don't have you forever because you're busy, and you don't know how much I appreciate this because I've been waiting to talk to you for a long time. This is awesome.
No, absolutely.
Okay. So that you just dropped like some mental bombs there. That's great. So Alex, let me ask this question, right? So obviously you're in the endurance race, right? You didn't sprint, hit it, and fall down, right? So even to get to 50,000, stay there for a while, and then 100,000 and go 4 years, right? That's still an endurance race because you could stop making the income. So how do you keep the team momentum going, right? Because I mean, I've even suffered from that where I get that popcorn stuff, boom, boom, boom. I'm here, excited, boom, 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 and stuff tapers off. So what do you do, and how do you keep that going for yourself and the team?
It has nothing to do with team momentum.
Okay.
It has everything to do with personal momentum. Your team's always in momentum if you're in momentum. You can't have a team in momentum if you're not in momentum. Show me a leader right now that has their team in momentum that's not personally in momentum.
Okay.
It doesn't exist. The reason Brian Carruthers stays the #1 money earner and Darnell Self doesn't take him out is because you look at the list, the top 10, and he's winning freaking he's winning the Lady of Justice Award every single year. So he doesn't worry about team momentum. He's creating momentum. And then he finds an Aaron Browning. Darnell Self's in the top 10 every year. Oh, he just magically found a Marty Wynn. He wasn't worried about whether it was momentum. He was worried about whether he was in momentum. So stop trying to figure out how to get other people to produce and start producing yourself. If you're in Performance Club Pro every month, if you're hitting executive director every month and bringing in new people and helping them rank advance, it's not about your team. It's about what you do. Because ultimately what you do determines whether your team is in momentum or not. And guess what? If you're in momentum and your team's not in momentum, guess what? Your team will be eventually in momentum. But if you're not in momentum, you can't teach people how to be in momentum. So it's there's no point in me even wasting my time trying to teach you how to get a team in momentum. It has nothing to do with your team. It has everything to do with you.
Okay. Last question, because I want to be respectful of your time.
Sure.
So brand new associate, somebody gets started. How do you get people over that anxiety of contacting, they're brand new, right? Of contacting friends and family, specifically when getting started, right? Like, how do you get them over that? I know you can give them a script and etc., but how do you get them through that jitters and what's a good process to get somebody launched correctly?
Yeah. So I put together a text for the new associates to use to send out to invite people to a Zoom. Okay. And the text basically says, something as simple as, Hey, John, real quick, I didn't have a lot of time, but I recently partnered with the gentleman that launched Xbox Live and Halo. He launched a pair of new mobile apps that are protecting people's rights and their identity. And if I invited you to a special invitation-only webinar, would you jump on to learn a little bit more? And that's all I have them send out. And we already have their time booked for their Zoom later on that evening or the very next day. And so it's skill proof and talent proof. All they got to do is send the text message. And if they're not willing to send the text message, I drop them like a bad habit and move on to the next person. I'm not the kind of, I'm not the guy that helps you get over your crap. If you can't get over your own crap, find a therapist. I'm a businessman. So if you need a therapist, you should go hire them. That's not my job.
Alex, man, I needed you on the football field, man. This guy is real.
I mean, I'm just being real. If you need a therapist, you should go get one. That's not my job. So if you don't feel comfortable contacting people, you join the wrong business. You should try a different business.
I hear you.
It's not for you.
I hear you.
And so a lot of people waste their time trying to turn duds into studs. And there's a difference. If you have a sincere desire and you're timid, send a text message. If you have sincere desire and you're timid and you don't book a Zoom and don't send a text message, you don't have sincere desire, so I can't work with you.
Wow. I have like 3 more questions I want to ask, but I won't, because I promised you I did. Is there anything that you want to share in closing comments for us before as we wrap up?
Yeah, absolutely. So the most successful people in the world don't try to solve problems. They try to get around them.
Okay.
So don't try to be a problem solver. Get around the problems. If you spend all your time trying to solve every problem that your team faces, you'll spend forever solving problems because nothing's perfect. Okay. Your business isn't perfect. Legal Shield isn't perfect. The technology isn't perfect. None of it's perfect. And so if your entire focus is on perfection, you'll fail because it'll never reach your standard. But if you focus on moving around the problems, I can't talk to people. I'm so shy. Okay, great. Send a text message. Oh, I can't send a text message. I'm too shy. I don't know what to tell you there. I don't have a way to get around that when you're done. Right. Hey, I can't figure out how to get my team in momentum. Great. You get in momentum. How do I get in momentum? Do your exposures. How do I do my exposure? Send out a text message. How do I send out a text message? Call a therapist. That's not my job. Next. So I will continue to work with you as long as you don't make excuses. When you start making excuses, I'm out. Like I'm done. I'm not trying to help you get over your excuses. So if you will stop trying to help your team get over their excuses and start finding people that are ready to let go of their excuses and focus on their desire, then you'll be less frustrated and more productive. And that's ultimately how to get a team in momentum, is stop trying to deal with people that make excuses. So if the biggest takeaway is you are not your team's therapist.
Got you.
We're in business. This is for profit. If they need to get over their own life stuff, tell them to read a book. That's not your job to read it to them. If they are too shy to call a prospect, tell them to look something up and get over their shyness. At the end of the day, I know I'm being very blunt because I have a short period of time. You're like, man, he's kind of what?
No, absolutely not.
But ultimately, if I want to help those people out, that's charity. If I want to come back and help them out, then it's not about business. It's about friendship and charity. And if I want to spend time, 10, 15, 20 minutes with somebody for charity, then I'll choose to do that. But that's not a part of my business model.
Man, Mr. Shahid, that's been incredible. Thank you for giving back to the state of Florida. As always, if we could be of any service to you, just let us know. Mr. Gonzalez, obviously, always, and my contact information will be attached as well. We're sending out you a personal thank you letter. I just want to thank you for everything that you've done and what you pour into us, not only on this leadership show, but just for the company in general. Man, you're a great leader, and I love your example. My favorite time of watching you is when I saw you on the Amelia call, and you said you went 10x and blew up everything, and it helped me catapult my business too. So thanks a lot. Back over to you, Mr. Gonzalez.
What an amazing interview, folks. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Mr. Alex Shahid. Again, thank you so much for spending some time with us, folks. He's a brand new Silver Executive Director with Legal Shield. And you can tell by his demeanor that he's not playing, right? He is serious about his business, breaking records. He's got one of the fastest growing teams. So we are super excited for him and the success that he's having. So again, thank you, sir, for spending that time with us here today. Just a reminder, folks, we have a new platform in Florida, right? Every Monday we're doing this here. We're interviewing some individuals, and then on Thursdays we're circling back up to have that interview, do a live presentation. So Mr. Alex Shahid is going to go ahead and come back and do a presentation for us on Thursday, right? So make sure that you use the momentum that he has to help you build. Right, you heard him say, get the excuses out of the way, send a text message, get some individuals in front of him, and help him help you build a massive business, right? So that's what we love about Legal Shield, is everyone's always trying to help everyone. But look, we had an amazing event this past Saturday, right? I just want to put some highlights up here, guys, because a lot has changed, and it's just exciting. It's an exciting time, folks. Look, we have a brand new compensation plan, brand new, which means more money in your pocket. We have a brand new enhanced ID Shield product with a higher price point, delivering amazing additional benefits that we weren't carrying before. These benefits put us above every other company out there, guys. It is a game changer for ID Shield. I mean, we are truly second to none now. We have a second chance opportunity. If you wanted to get to that Rio de Mayo trip, Riviera Maya trip, you now have a second chance. As a matter of fact, they're giving away 20 trips to the top builders, right? So you want to make sure you go back to Ellis Engage to see what you got to do to get on that trip, guys. And look, they launched something at the end of that national event. Darnell, he kind of pushed Mr. Thompson to have some fun this month, right? So from the 11th to the 18th, every recruit that you bring into your business counts for double towards not only the Riviera Maya trip, the PC trip, right, but also for the builder bonus. And you heard Mr. Alex Shahid refer to that builder bonus. Guys, those are significant checks. I mean, we have seen big builder bonus checks. So you start building now, start creating momentum now, because everything you do from now, from the 11th to the 18th, actually counts for double, folks. So make sure you tap into that event on Thursday with Alex Shahid. We're actually doing a call party to help you understand and learn how to send those texts out, how to invite those individuals, right? Just to kind of maximize that event for you. The whole hour before the event from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at FloridaLSZoom.com. We will be there for you, folks, as leaders. Some of the top leaders here in Florida will be there to help you build your business and show you how to invite into that big event that's happening, folks. So with that, I'm going to say good night to you all. Thank you so much for coming on to the show, guys. It's just been an amazing transition here. All the massive momentum that we're experiencing here in Florida is because of you guys. So thank you, Florida. And remember, guys, together we lead the change. See you soon.